Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Curbside with Kids and Cars here at Dell Children's Medical Center in Austin, Texas.
This week is a little different as we'll be posting a mini series of videos going over all the different parts of car seats. So let's get started.
Here we'll take a look at convertible seats using an even flow Tribute as an example. So we're going to talk about a convertible car seat, and this seat can either be used from birth or after your child grows out of their infant car seat. And it can be used rear-facing and forward-facing. We'll talk about how all that works in just a minute. But first we'll start by taking a look at the shell. So the shell is the plastic piece that makes up the construction of the seat. And on here we can find important information such as the manufacturer's sticker and important information as well about height and weight restrictions for the seat. Okay, and if we bring it around to the front, we can see a similar system that we saw in the infant carrier. So we have one 5-point harness that's a continuous system, and we can tighten it and loosen it right up here. So to loosen it, we just push on this silver button, and then we can pull the harness loose. And then to tighten it, we just pull on this strap here to make sure that it's nice and snug for your baby. Okay? And some important things to notice on the harness. First, we have the chest clip. And this is something you want to make sure that it's snug, snapped into place, and it's on the same level as those babies' little armpits, and we can see that's right on here. We have a little diagram. Then we have the crotch buckle, which has 2 clips that buckle into it. And then once again, we want to make sure that these are both snapped into place before the baby goes anywhere in the car. It's important to note that this harness is adjustable, so it grows with your baby. We see that for the upper bits here that go over the shoulders, we have a couple different slots where the harness can go through. It's important to know sometimes on the back of the seat it'll specify which harness slots are able to be used forward-facing or rear-facing, and I'll show you that in just a minute. The crotch buckle is also able to be adjusted, so there are 2 options here for slots. We have one where it's appropriately sized for a smaller baby, and then you can move it out to here as your baby grows bigger, and we'll show you the adjustment on the back, same as the harness. Okay, so as I mentioned, on the back of the seat we see a few different options for harness slots, and on this seat we can see right here stamped on the shell, forward facing only this slot. So you never want to use this slot when your child is rear facing, only when they're forward facing. If we go around all the way to the very bottom of the seat, we can see where the harness straps come into the splitter plate. And as Amber showed you in the infant carrier video, we can remove these in order to adjust the height of the harness. To adjust the crotch buckle, we pull this aside and we see this metal bracket here. This is what's attached to the crotch buckle. In order to move it, you just turn it sideways and then you can stick it right through that slot and then pull it back out this one as it becomes more comfortable for your child to move it forward rather than all the way back here. As I mentioned, this seat can either be used rear-facing or forward-facing, and this foot right here is what moves back and forth that allows it to be rear-facing or forward-facing. Okay? In rear-facing mode, which is the mode you'll use first as your child is smaller, if we move this foot all the way forward, we can see that it now has a proper recline angle in order to make sure that your baby is at the right angle while they're smaller. When you're ready for riding forward-facing, you can go ahead and pull the foot back, and then if we stand the seat up again, we know that it's in a more upright position, which is appropriate for forward-facing car seats. In order to install this seat in the vehicle, we have a couple different options. We can either use the seat belt or the lower anchors. And if we come in here on this seat, we have the lower anchor system here. So you know that it's all one piece, and this one is adjustable just on one side, although that may vary for your car seat. So in order to tighten it, after you click the buckle into the lower anchor, you just simply pull here to tighten it to make sure it's nice and snug. And then you can also loosen it right here. Okay? We also have this rear tether anchor, which is important when your child is riding only forward facing. This doesn't do anything for a rear facing installation. So this goes over the back of the car seat and attaches either on the back of the seat or on the floor, depending on where the anchor attachment point is in your vehicle. This is used when we're using the lower anchors and when we're using the seat belt. When we're using the seat belt to install it, we have 2 different belt paths. We have the one here that the lower anchors are in now, and this is for when your child is riding forward facing. So again, that's stamped on the shell. We have another belt path that can be used for when your child is rear facing, and these both these belt paths can be used either for the seat belt or for the lower anchor. So these are able to be moved down to use in this belt path. So once again, if you're riding rear facing, you want to use the belt path closest to the seat, which is going to be the one here. If we're riding forward facing, we want to use the one that's closest to the seat, which then is going to be up here.
Make sure that you comment below with any questions or any topics that you'd like to see covered in the future for our videos. And join us next week where we'll be talking about proper car seat selection and what might be right for your little one. Because remember, your child matters, their car seat does too. We'll see y'all next week.